Let us start with Anita Kordeji's paper on Chausath Yogini culture and temple and Anita ji was not here yesterday. Usually, Indic Academy expects all the paper presenters to be present for all the papers, but Anita ji had a very pressurizing activity, and also it is her paper, the topic that gave her this opportunity. This topic is so important for this conference. Symbolism in art and architecture of Chausath Yogini Temple, Hirapur. Please come.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to present this paper to you. Today, I'm going to speak about the symbolism in art and architecture of Chausath Yogini Temple at Hirapur. As we know, Yogini in Indian tradition signifies a female with magical powers, which can vary from negative to positive. They are also considered as a female devotee of Durga or Durga herself, right? And Yoginis are goddesses linked to Shakta tradition, tantric practices aimed at repelling negativity. The Yogini cult prominent in Shakta traditions originated in India around 6th to 7th century AD. Their significance grew between 8th and 13th century AD, marked by the construction of open-air temples dedicated to them. Next, please. So the magical abilities of yoginis are very popular, right? They include attraction, finding buried treasures, alchemy, destruction, ability to halt fire, water, or speech, invisibility, ability to flight, and various other things. Yogini worship, as depicted in Puranas and Tantras, aims to gain siddhis. So what are the siddhis that one looks for when they worship? They want to minimize themselves to become minute, being able to expand themselves, achieve weightlessness and levitation, able to fly, able to control other people's thought, and many more. Now, yoginis are worshipped, next please, yoginis are worshipped using Panchamakara sadhana, that is 5 M's. Now, this 5 M's are what? They are Madhya, that's wine, Mas, that is meat, Matsya is fish, Mudra, that's parched grains, and Maithuna, that is the sexual intercourse. All these 5 makaras corresponds to 5 elements in nature. Now, Panchamakara sadhana is practiced with the aim to transcend the limitation of the physical and reach the higher spiritual states. Next, please. Chausath Yogini Temple, I mean, the cult was very popular. As you can see, it finds mention in all kind of texts like Kalika Puran, Skanda Puran, Chausath Yogini Namavali, to name the few. Next, please. Okay. So today we are going to talk about the Chausath Yogini Temple at Hirapur. It lies between the Bhubaneswar and Puri, which is Ekama Kshetra and Purushottama Kshetra, both known to be prolific centers of Tantricism in their time. It is the smallest known Yogini temple in India, discovered in 1953 by archaeologist Kedarnath Mohapatra, who dated it under the 9th century AD, under the Bhomkara kings. It is unique as India's only live Yogini temple. Mohamaya is its main deity and also the village guardian, local village guardian. It is a roofless circular temple made of sandstone with laterite base and has a 90-foot outer circumference, of 4-foot projection, and stands at 27.3 meters tall with 30-foot diameter. Next, please. It's a roofless circular temple. It has got nine Durgas on the outer walls of the temple. There are two Dwarpalas at the entrance guarding the temple. There are two Bhairavas in the Antral. There are 60 Yoginis in the Yogini Mandap, and in the center there is a square open Chandi Mandap which has 4 Bhairavas and 4 Yoginis. Next please. The greatness of Indian temple architecture lies in the spirituality embedded in its elements. The ever-evolving beliefs of Indian rishis and philosophers were translated into tangible forms by Stapatis and their teams, making intangible religious concepts concrete with temple architecture or the structures. Moksha is a long arduous journey of many stages of consciousness. Temple architecture through its various layers guides the devotee from the tangible, that is sthul, to subtle, that is sukshma, and finally the ultimate para, or the causal, where the human consciousness merges with the divine. Each architectural element, while physically present, also holds a symbolic significance. According to the scriptures, there is a right way to take darshan of the deity in the temple. This paper examines the correct darshan approach in the Chausath Yogini Temple, exploring how its architectural elements align with the Yogini cult beliefs and guide the devotees to the Bindu, that is the ultimate reality, at the Chandi Mandap. Next, please. To achieve mental and physical purity for the temple darshan, one should take the dip in the temple kund, which is symbolic of the sacred Ganga and Yamuna rivers. This act purifies both spiritually and physically, as the tank water also represents the primordial water, symbolizing an awakening to higher consciousness and union with the divine. The Hirapur temple is surrounded by paddy fields, is next to Mahamaya Pushkarni pond, where devotees cleanse themselves before they enter the temple. Next, please. The temple is but an extension of the central deity. Hence, the temple itself is considered to be very sacred. Though there is a pradikshina path which is normally found in the temples, the pradikshina or the circumambulation around the temple is also considered sacred, and it is very essential to do pradikshina around the temple to get the devotee into the right frame of mind. Before entering, the devotee must have the right mindset and are advised to walk the designated path around the temple. Next, please. The Hirapur temple's exterior is made up of Pitha and Janga. While the Pitha is plain, the Janga displays 9 niches housing the Navadurgas, the fearsome protectors, symbolizing Durga's 9 manifestations during the war with Mahisasura. Next, please. These Navadurgas are the protective and guardian deities and are depicted standing on the beheaded figure. She is shown to devour the inept practitioners. She warns the devotee to not take his initiation lightly and kill the ego before entering the shrine. The ferocious nature of the Devi, along with the crematorium imagery like jackal and dog, shows the Shava Sadhana or the tantric rituals that takes place in the crematorium. Doing the pradikshana and contemplating on the Navadurgas assures the devotee of the protection and makes his mind conducive to taking darshana in the shrine. Next, please. Now, entry to the temple is through a gate which is facing the east. This low entrance is guarded by Dwarpalas. Next, please. Dwarpalas are formidable doorkeepers representing the deity's power and majesty. These semi-divine beings, always in pairs, and their appearance, attire, and weapons emblem showcases the power of the deity's magnificence in the Garbhagruha. The left Dwarpala is 2-armed male with ear ornaments standing on a pedestal with a lotus creeper. The right Dwarpal is fierce-looking Dwarpala with disheveled hair and protruding stomach and holding a skull cup, also standing on a lotus creeper pedestal. The Dwarpalas safeguard the temple's energy and emphasize its divine nature, urging visitors to approach with reverence and gratitude. Therefore, a devotee is supposed to seek the permission of the Dwarpalas before entering the temple. Next, please. The temple's entrance is small, requiring one to stoop, which is allowing only one person at a time. The Antral links this entrance to the Yogini Mandap. Antral serves as a symbolic buffer, guiding worshippers from the materialistic external world to the divine inner realms of Yogini Mandap and Chandi Mandap. It marks the transition from the communal to the personal spiritual experiences. The Antral features 2 intimidating Bhairava figures. On the right, there's a Kal Bhairav adorned with skull garland and snake anklets, displays a fierce, emaciated appearance. holding a skull cup accompanied by the jackal and the attendants. And the left one is similar to the right one. He holds a severed head in one of his left hand, and you can see the attendants drinking blood from the skull cup, and another one is just holding a skull cup. Now these elements or the Bhairavas which are guarding the antral reflect the Shava sadhana practices from the crematorium, which the tantrics do perform in the crematoriums. Now Bhairavas here urge the devotees to approach with seriousness and humility. The low antral entrance, which necessitates stooping, symbolizes that one should shed the ego before they enter the temple. Next please. Hirapur Yogini Temple, with its roofless design, reflects the tantric ritual celebrating Bhumandala, the five elements, that is fire, water, earth, air, and ether. The Panchmakara in worship symbolizes these elements. Temple circular form preserves the internal energy, and the open roof ensures an unobstructed channel for energy flow. Ancient beliefs hold that this portal allowed yoginis to traverse dimensions and return collectively from their celestial sojourns. Now let's look at the shape of the temple and what it represents. Next please. The shape of the temple represents the yoni patta on which the Shivlinga rests. The circular temple is accessed through a small entrance. Aerially with Chandi Mandap at its center, it mirrors a Shivlinga on a yoni pedestal. This design symbolizes Shiva surrounded by yoginis, that is the manifestation of Shakti. Shakti who forms a mystic womb which holds male Purusha in its depth and from which the whole universe comes forth. The temple represents the perpetual union of Shiva and Shakti, the union of eternal bliss. Next please. The temple circular form represents wholeness and cosmos without a beginning or end, distinguishing the sacred from the profane. It signifies cyclical eternity and the source of all existence. This circle acts as a protective barrier to keep the mystical energy concentrated and prevent its dispersion. Next please. The Yogini Tantra describes the Yogini Chakra or temple as a circle with 64 divisions or petals where images of yoginis are placed. There are 8 Matrika Devis, each with 8 deputy yoginis, totaling 64. In the circle setting, all are considered equal. Participants in the Yogini Chakra Puja are advised to disregard caste and approach as equals. In a circle, all are equal, and this equality is reflected in the circular design of the Chausath Yogini Temple. Next, please. Mandalas typically feature a central point or bindu with systematically radiating patterns. A mandala symbolizes a spiritual journey from the outer layer to the inner core. The Hirapur temple's architecture reflects this, with concentric circles representing a cosmic map. The yoginis embody different energies. A practitioner progresses from the outer circle through layers to the bindu or the core, symbolizing the ultimate reality. The temple's layout centers on Shiva, that's bindu, surrounded by a circle of 4 yoginis, the next circle of 60 yoginis, and then Navadurgas and the Dwarpalas and the Bhairavas. Next, please. Emerging from the dim antral, devotees encounter the bright, roofless interior of the temple, exposed to the natural elements. 60 yoginis sculpted in the black granite stand in circle within the niched wall. They are approximately 2 feet tall. They each stand on distinct animal mounts. These yoginis epitomize idealized women form in Hindu sculptures. They are attractive women with full breasts, thin waist, wide hips, and they wear only jewelry. They have varied hairstyles and have various weapons and tools which distinguishes one from another. Apart from this, there are 4 additional yoginis which are found on the pillars of the Chandi Mandap. Next, please. At Hirapur, most yoginis have 2 arms, but some have 4, with a mix of human and animal bird faces. The prominent yogini Mohamaya in niche 31 is 10-armed and stands on a lotus larger than others. Her depiction mirrors the 14th century Kalika Puran's portrayal of Mahamaya. Locals still venerate her as a village deity, and she alone has a dedicated altar. Yoginis in this temple personify both the Saumya Roop as well as Ugra Roop of the Shaktis. Next, please. The entire Saptamatrika group, including Varahi, Indri, Kumari, Vaishnavi, Chamunda, Maheshwari, and Brahmani, is found in Hirapur. Next, please. At the Hirapur shrine, several yoginis symbolize river deities. Example includes Ganga, represented atop a makara, Yamuna on a tortoise, Narmada and Saraswati depicted on a wave patterns. All these figures can be understood as representation of river aquatic deities. Next, please. Yoginis in temple often display Kapalika sect symbols. Adorned with skulls, bone ornaments, and yielding khatwang, they embody intense tantric themes. These yoginis with names like Raktapriya and Surapriya evoke both respect and fear. They also represent the Panchamakara attributes like one who is fond of drinking wine, eating flesh, and drinking blood. Next, please. Many statues of yoginis showcase features that resemble animals like monkeys, lions, serpents, bears, and elephants. They are called theomorphic figures, which includes yoginis called as Narsimhi, Varahi, Sarpasa, Ganesha, and Bhaluka. These distinct animal characteristics highlight the yogini's ability to transform into an animal or bird. Next, please. Yeah. Yoginis are shown standing on the corpse or the head, indicating the Shava sadhana performed by them in a smashan or crematorium, as in the tantric practices. Next, please. Maithuna, key component of tantric yogini ritual, is one of the Panchamakaras. In the yogini chakra, every man is viewed as Bhairava and every woman as Bhairavi. However, no Maithuna sculptures are present in the Hirapur temple. The Kularnava Tantra mentions the sexual dimensions of yogini worship, suggesting that 64 yoginis should be depicted with 64 Bhairavas in union. During these rites, all caste discriminations get dissolved. Women are seen as Devi and men as Shiva. While other makaras might have been practiced in the temple, it seems Maithuna rituals were held privately in homes. Next, please. In Hirapur, yoginis are uniquely represented. Once the secondary figures in myths, here they stand as powerful deities. For example, the yogini Saraswati, while feminine with veena in her hand, intriguingly shares a mustache and is twirling it, blending both male and female features, exemplifying the harmonization of both aspects within a yogini. This duality is distinct and uncommon in other yogini temples. Next, please. I'm sorry, it is Rati and I've wrongly named it as Tara. Though yoginis usually lack male counterparts, yogini Rati is depicted with her husband Kamdev in the temple. Unlike the typical submissive Rati found with Kamdev, here she is shown dominating and standing over Kamdev. The portrayal suggests not just the overpowering Kamadev, but also symbolizes a woman of intense passion. Despite Rati's conventional role as a consort, here she embodies power and challenges traditional gender norms. Next, please. Every yogini in a circle is to be worshipped separately, for each one has a different siddhi to confer. We realize that yoginis are nothing but a manifestation of one divine, unmanifested principle in the Chandi Mandapa. Circumambulating and worshipping the yoginis slowly but steadily stabilizes the devotee's mind in the Sushma aspect of Parabrahman. After worshipping the yogini circle, the devotee comes to the center or the bindu of the circle called Chandi Mandapa, which is comparable to the Garbhagriha. Next, please. At the center of the circular temple stands a roofless square Chandi Mandapa. It has entrance on all the four sides with 2 niches provided on either side of each entrance, resulting in 8 niches in total. Next, please. 4 yoginis are placed on the Chandi Mandap, of which only 3 are there. The one yogini called as Sarva Mangala is missing. And there are 4 sculptures of 4 Bhairavas in 4 niches here. Next, please. So these are the yoginis which are there on the Chandi Mandapa. The Sarva Mangala is missing. Next one, please. In Shaiva Tantrism, Bhairava is closely linked with Yogini cult, with his statues often found in the Yogini temples. Their daunting nature is believed to repel malevolent and detrimental forces. They are seen as protector against evil forces. Within the temple, Bhairavas are regarded as allies and guardians of the yoginis, enhancing the temple's sacredness. In the central shrine, Bhairavas are shown seated in Lalitasana, except for Ekapada Bhairava, who stands on 1 foot. All are Urdhava Linga, symbolizing the ascending spiritual energy and upward journey of Kundalini. It is at this place where a devotee transcends from human consciousness to divine consciousness. The central deity of the Chandi Mandap is absent. The present day worship is directed toward Yogini, Mahamaya. Chandi Mandap is the Bindu or the Graha. Next, please. Chandi Mandap is the Bindu or the Garbhagriha where the ultimate reality resides. Bindu symbolizes the absolute and the timeless principle beyond repetition and relativity and is intended as a reminder of the ultimate goal of the journey that the devotee undertakes. Bindu is protected by the Bhairavas who act as Dwarpalas and do not allow the unworthy to be in the presence of the ultimate reality. Only the ones who have gone through the mental and physical transmutation from Sthul to Sukshma by worshipping all the Yoginis in various circles are allowed in this presence. The presence of Bhairava and Yoginis shows that this region is a celestial region where Shiva resides. Slowly but steadily, the devotee's mind is levitated from Sukshma to Para aspect of Parabrahman. A Yogini temple, hence, functions as a place of transcendence through its art and architecture, a place where devotee progresses from the world of illusions to the world of knowledge and truth, where the devotee becomes one with Shiva. Thank you so much.